Blazing Dominion, or Blazing Domain, I'm not sure what it's called. One of the two. We've got a couple of new supports. I don't know, they had some event where they announced a lot of cards. So, Starving Venom Wing Dragon, a Dark Dragon Fusion Pendulum. Has a pendulum effect. Each time a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field, place a Predator counter on each of them. And if you do, one of those monsters that are 2 or higher become level 1 as long as they have a Predator. Oh, any of those, okay. Monster effect, 1 fusion monster plus a clear wing monster. Once per turn, if your opponent specials a monster face up, you can target one of them until the end of this turn. This card gains attack equal to that monster's, also negate that monster's effects. Okay, not bad. Once per turn, when another card on the field activates this effect, you can destroy a card in the field. Okay, not bad. This card in the monster zone is destroyed, plays in the pendulum zone. The effects aren't bad, but also seems like a nightmare to summon, and probably not worth all the work unless there's other supporter that basically summons it. I will say, it's not even that long that we've gotten pretty decent Predaplant support, and Predaplant itself, like with Branded, was a pretty good deck. So maybe there's a chance for these, but maybe not this one in particular, but maybe they make it easy to summon. I don't know. But like none of those decks that were viable summoned Clearwing monsters, let me tell you that. Predaplant Lilizard. Level 3 Dark Plant. You can only use the first, second, and third effect once per turn. If you control a Predaplant or Starving Venom, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can add a Polymerization from your deck to your hand. Okay, that's not bad. You can target a face-up monster on the field. It becomes dark. If this card is special from the grave, you can draw a card. Okay, I mean, not a starter, not a great fusion material, but good extender in a Predaplant deck. You know, like summon itself for free. Search Poly is pretty strong. And then if you can somehow bring it back from the grave, you also draw a card. Not a bad card. And then Predaplant Longinephila, which is a tuner. You can only, a level 1 Dark Plant. If you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card's normal or special, you can add a Predap card from your deck to your hand. Okay, very good start. Banish this card from your grave, then activate one of these effects. Place a Predator counter on 1 face-up monster on the field, and if it's level 2 or higher, becomes level 1. Set a Poly from your graveyard banishment. I mean, yeah, they get a Stratos in Predaplants. I don't know how necessary or good this is specifically for the pure Predaplant deck, but like it's a 1-for-1 target as well. It's a good summon off of the Cobra. Maybe no, not Cobra. Well, maybe you can now finally cut the Cobra, because this could be your target for Scorpio, right? Like maybe you can just play this and Scorpio, and no matter which one you draw, you're gonna be happy, right? You no longer have the Cobra in your deck. Maybe you still play the Cobra because it's good enough. I have no idea, but like you know what I'm saying. Predaplant, a Predaplant Synchro. Does Predaplant not have cards that lock you into fusions? Please say they have cards that lock you into fusions. Some of them locked you into fusions, didn't they? The Rota. Okay, but for the rest of the turn, okay, they have some. Okay. Level 4 Dark Plant. It's also a tuner and it's generic. You can only use the first and second effect each turn. If this card is synchro summoned, you can special summon a Predaplant or Starving Venom monster from your face-up extra deck or grave. Okay, grave extension is pretty sick. If a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field, banish this card and Poly from your grave. Fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field. Yeah, this is pretty straightforward. Synchro climb, extend, and then have a little disruption from the graveyard, which is pretty solid. Yeah, it's definitely good. Yeah, you make it with, if you can make it with this, then you draw a card and keep going, and yeah. I see what they're trying to do. Preda Primitive. Normal spell. You can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. Send a Predap card from your deck to the grave, except Preda Primitive, for cost. Add a Poly spell or Fusion spell from your deck to your hand. Also, you cannot special for the rest of this turn except Plant and Dragon. Okay, this adds anything, right? This even adds Super Poly. It adds Heavy Poly. It adds regular Poly. It adds whatever you want. It adds Instant Fusion. It adds Branded Fusion for all that matters. That's pretty crazy. It does lock you into plants and dragons, which isn't great for branded though, right? Because you can't do like Mirror Jade or stuff. If a monster is special to your opponent's field, you can banish this card from your grave, target a fusion you control, destroy it. Okay, this is probably meant to trigger something. You can trigger this thing to go into the pendulum scale, or probably something else that you can do. Super Poly isn't a fusion spell. Yeah, but it says add one polymerization spell, right? Which super polymerization is a polymerization spell. It does not specify that it has to be the polymerization. It says polymerization spell, which is different. Unless the wording is wrong, or the translation. This is anything that has a spell that has polymerization in the name, or a spell that has fusion in the name. So yeah, I think it does add it. Apex Polymerization. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. Neither player can activate cards or effects in response to this card's activation. Pay 2,000 life points, then target an effect monster on the field. Special summon a monster from your extra deck with the same type and attribute but a different level. Its effects are negated. Then apply one of these effects. Fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck using both monsters. Send the summoned monster to the graveyard. Okay, so you can use this in two ways. You can use this on your opponent's monsters, which is like a pretty... It's like a Metal Tronus, yeah. It's like a Metal Tronus type card. If you have a monster with the same type and attribute in your extra deck, but a different level, you can summon it and then perform a fusion summon, which I guess by default can always summon. It can always summon Garura, right? Unless I'm missing something, because you're always going to have two monsters with the same attribute, same type, but different name because they're different levels. So they're probably different monsters, unless there's some level modification going on. So you could always like word break something by having a monster with the same type and attribute in your extra deck into a Garura, and it is not, they cannot respond to it, so that's okay, I guess. But that's something you can only do going second, and it's also very dependent on having a good target for it, which is not easy. Also, you can use it as a combo extender, I guess, right? If you have a monster and it just happens to work out that you can summon something else from the extra deck and then fuse with them, right? It's like, it's very, very situational, so I'm not sure if it's good enough. And it is a normal spell card. It is a very, very situational normal spell card. Not a starter, not always a good extender, not always a board breaker. And even if you can activate it, there is no guarantee that it's going to be really good. But it's an interesting concept, I guess. It's the type of card that really makes you think without being like too crazy, which is interesting. I don't mind it. It does help you summon this, I guess, right? If you have a clear wing and then you target it and then you summon a fusion monster, but I think you have to make your clear wing like a dark monster in order for that to work, which maybe you can. Yeah, you can target a face-up monster on the field, attribute becomes dark. So maybe it's like you're supposed to like make your clear wing dark and then summon another dark dragon and then make this. But I'm not sure if you want to do that. There is a dark. Oh, is there a dark clear wing as well? Supreme King clear wing is a dark. Oh, okay, sure. Okay. Yeah. Oh, this is also just Apex Fusion, but in a different article. All right. Done that already. All right, we go from one anime protagonist or antagonist to another. We have Red Dragon Archfiend support more in Blazing Dominion. Red Hypernova Dragon. Why are you saying clueless? Here we go. Why are you already saying clueless? Here we go. 4 tuners and a non-tuner synchro monster must be synchro summoned with the above material. Gains 500 attack for each tuner in the grave. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Also, it cannot be destroyed by card effects. Once per turn, quick effect, banish this card and as many cards your opponent controls as possible and in their grave. Then you can special a Red Nova from your extra deck. This is treated as a synchro summon. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I'm sure you can probably summon this in Red Dragon Archfiend combos. However, if you can really get that far, if you could really get that far, you probably deserve to win. And honestly, there is like crazier things that can happen at cards that are like, there is other cards that are like similar levels of hard to summon. And this one isn't even the best of those. And the important thing is that you cannot cheat it out with Crimson Dragon, because it says must first be synchro summoned with the above material, which means you cannot cheat it out, which is why I think it's okay. Probably. Okay. Why did you say here we go? This wasn't even, I thought when you said that you meant like this was I was gonna be annoyed by the card design, but this is like whatever. Maybe that's what you meant. All right. Synchron and Junk Warrior support. Oh boy, here we go. Synchro Slop, my favorite. Assault Sonic Warrior, Wind Warrior level 2. You can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. If you control a Junk Warrior, Assault Mode activate, or a card that mentions either of them, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card's normal or special, add any Synchron monster or Assault Mode activate from your deck to your hand. That's pretty good. If this card sent to the grave as Synchro material, this turn, everything will gain 500 attack. That's pretty solid start. Can search with Rhoda. Can be a good normal summon. Can be a good extender. That's pretty good Synchro Slop material if you ask me. Junk Signal. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. Activate one of these effects. You can have special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Synchros. Tribute a monster. Ooh, dodging negation on Junk Speeder. Special summon a Junk Warrior, Stardust Dragon, or a monster that mentions either of them from your hand, deck, or grave except the tributed monster. When your opponent activates a card or effect in response to the activation of your Synchro Monsters effect, negate that effect. Okay, they are literally just trying to make it more Junk Speeder sloppy than it's ever been. I mean, yeah, these are good cards. You would play both in a Synchro Slop deck. The problem is listen to me, okay? From the perspective that we already have decks in the game like Malice, like Adignister, like Onomat or whatever, like all of, basically we have functioning slop for Cybers, we have functioning slop for Exceeds. Why shouldn't they make slop for Synchro? I'm not a fan of it, but like it's probably not even the best slop out there, you know? And I wish they would just stop doing that so we can maybe get away from that kind of play style. Maybe like I don't know. I guess like why I'm talking about it like this is like I'm just tired of seeing cards, and my response to this is just, yeah, I hope this never sees play. Am I the only one who feels like that about these types of decks? Like sometimes I just read a card and I think that for me that incorporates bad design in a Yu-Gi-Oh card. When I read it, and it's not even about is it good or is it bad, it's mostly about like, oh god, I hope I never have to play against this type of deck, right? And that's not good, right? That yeah, I don't know. I guess let me know if I'm alone with that sentiment, because like that's the thing, like the main argument that people always have when it comes to this is like, oh, don't worry, the deck is ass anyways, is what people often tell me when I say like, oh, I don't like the design of this card, or I don't like that they made this card. People are like, no, it's fine, it's bad anyways. And I'm like, that's not a good argument. That's not what I like. That's not great. Because what does that mean? Like, oh, like the card is either useless or it's not fun. I would like if there was cards I can look forward to playing with or against, you know? I don't know. And Synchro Slop is not one of those. Definitely not. Just the fact that other slop decks exist, like Cybers or Pendulum or Exceed or whatever, I don't think is a good justification for just making more of it, right? Like if I'm tired of the one thing, of course, if they make more ways to do that thing, I'm not gonna be happy. But all right, and now we have more Spirit Charmer support, which I guess goes hand in hand with the structure deck, which we've already taken a look at some of them. 4 Charmers in Profusion, a Link 4 spellcaster. Ooh, that's a flavorful way to do it. Like a Link 4 that has all of them on it. I mean, the ones that aren't Dark or Lina. That's cool. Generic Link 4. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. Gains 300 attack for each attribute among the monsters on the field. Once foul face up on the field, during the main phase quick effect, you can target 2 monsters in your grave with the same type or attribute. Special summon both, but they and this card cannot be used as material for Fusion, Synchro Xyz, or Link Summon until the end of the next turn. Okay, that's an important caveat here. That is a very strong card, though, for a Link 4. Summon 2 monsters with the same type or attribute. That's pretty strong. It is a Link 4, though. Can probably summon Floodgates. I mean, yeah, someone is probably going to find a way to summon Christia with this, or Spell Canceller or whatever, but that's not the problem of this card, right? That's not the problem of this card. That's the problem of those cards existing. Familiars of the Spiritual Arts. Level 4. Oh, we got the Familiars on one card too. That's cute. I like that. Level 4 Water Reptile. Uh-oh, Reptile! This card is always treated as a familiar possessed card. You can only use the first, second, and third effect. If this card is normal or special, you can add a possessed spell, trap, or grant spiritual art Ichirin from your deck to your hand. You can declare a type and attribute. This card becomes the declared type and attribute until the end of this turn. Ooh, Light Fiend! If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special a spellcaster monster with 1500 defense from your deck or grave. Ooh, grant spiritual art Ichirin. Was that like the crazy card that we read from the structure deck? The one that like summons a bunch of monsters? Or is that an already existing card? I'm checking it out right now. I think it's already an existing card. Yeah, it's in the database already. Negate your opponent's first monster effect that resolves each turn while you control a spellcaster monster with 1500 defense. During your main phase, reveal a spellcaster from your hand. If you do, add a monster with the same attribute. About 15 to hand. If you do, shuffle the real card of the deck. Okay, it's not bad. It's not... Timu Cross is funny. It's... yeah. This feels a little underwhelming. Possessed Resonance. Normal spell. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. Target a face-up monster on the field. Special summon a Charmer or familiar possessed monster with the same attribute from your hand, deck, or grave. In attack position or face down defense, then you can change the targeted monster to face down defense. Banish this card from your grave. Target a monster you control, change its battle position. Yeah, they're giving Charmers some cool cards, but I'm not really sure if it's getting me to want to play Charmers. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the Charmer anime is a cool idea, but like, it's gonna take a lot to make me actually play the old flip monsters. Which some of this is definitely trying to do, right? Like the whole like changing your monster face down and then changing it face up. Like they're trying to get you to play the old flip Charmers, and I don't want to do that. Fair cards, therefore bad cards. It's not about that. Like I think the new Charmer cards are actually pretty good. It's just that you have to play, or maybe at this point, maybe there's going to be a version without them. But from my perspective right now, they want you to play those old Charmers, and those are all terrible bricks. I guess one way to fix this, and I hope I'm wrong on this, I guess, but one way to make the old Charmers, like the flip monsters, be good would be if they made a Link 1, so that you can just normal summon any of them and it becomes a starter, which would be the least creative way of doing it, but that would work, I guess. If you basically make it so they all kind of like function as one card starters, like Prankits or whatever, right? If they make it, yeah. I'm cringing just as I'm saying it, but like I'm actually kind of surprised they haven't done that yet. Okay, and that's everything from Blazing Domain. Okay, yeah, I mean, we've been rambling, but it's Duelist Cup weekend, so I've been tired. I've been playing for 12 hours, so excuse me for rambling a little bit.